In the footsteps of Jesus along his possible path, on a special pilgrimage from Galilee to Jerusalem, completely on foot. It's the goal of David Brown, a 74-year-old English journalist. 20 years ago, David travelled from Capharnaum to Jericho in 4 days, in a journey on foot through the Wadi Qelt. From that point on, he dreamed of completing the path from Nazareth. And so he took to the road, precisely from the city of the Annunciation, passing into the region of Tiberius, on the Sea of Galilee, to recall the public life of Jesus, and then Samaria, Jericho, in every place stopping to contemplate and recall the history of the Bible texts, and finishing with the experience of the desert. An adventure successful this time only in part, but David is not discouraged. The experience just completed is a sort of general rehearsal, he explains, a way of getting to know the path and becoming familiar with the places. The big challenge of walking the entire route is now just around the corner, to complete before the 75-year milestone.
I wanted to walk with Jesus spiritually.
I wanted to walk with Jesus spiritually, but also to see the best-known places he went through when he came on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem for Passover. Naturally, after a while, the road becomes difficult, when the feet start to hurt and the legs. Moreover, especially in this month of April, you need to drink as much as possible, and it's difficult to imagine that Jesus and his disciples carried much water. They had to know where the wells were found and where they could ask for water, and that was also an opportunity for an encounter, as with the Samaritan. David Brown has worked as a journalist in South Africa, broadcasting the programme Walks in the Holy Land for 4 years. As a correspondent, he covered the death of Pope Paul VI and the elections of Pope John Paul I and John Paul II, with 2 documentaries entitled Habemus Papam. English by birth, he has worked in radio and television also in the Netherlands and Israel. Currently he lives in France. Despite the difficulties of the journey, David expresses his happiness.
I think I can say that walking with Jesus brings me closer to him.
I think I can say that walking with Jesus, making this pilgrimage, made me feel closer to him, understanding better how he was a human being in the sense that he accepted our life with all its difficulties and joys. Sure, he was God, but as Scripture says, he wanted to pitch his tent among us. And therefore now I feel closer to Jesus the man, to the Jesus that shared our life and who gave us his life.
Who shared our life